Welcome to Align Trading, going over today's SPY recap and live analysis before taking a look at what to be watching into tomorrow. So first thing that I explained in the pre-market brief for Discord members today was to be watching with the gap down. If we were going to see continuation, we wanted to see this yellow and blue algorithm right here building some sort of handle for that continuation within this purple algorithm right here. Otherwise, I explained to continue watching this 5-day moving average right here, as well as this green algorithm. You can see how we broke out of that right here with this head and shoulder below the 5-day moving average, as well as this key level being 570 right here. You see how we form that inverse cup handle, and we get that continuation within this orange selling algorithm right here to close this larger cup. Now, we didn't quite hit this 20-day moving average that was right here, but we came just within it. Now, we will go over this on the 1-minute chart, but in the morning, you can see how it is very, very choppy here. However, the sellers are in control, and you can see how we're forming that head and shoulder right here, as well as not able to form any inverse head and shoulder right here, breaking out of that yellow and the blue to give us a cup back at that high from Friday. And then from there, right, we would want to see that continuation to close this cup. So now here on the 1-minute chart, going over the microstructure and algorithms. As I was saying in the morning, we're very, very choppy and we are range bound, as you can see right here. Now, there are some trades within this structure right here. If you were scalping them, as I was explaining here, if you're looking for this to head down, be watching for this head and shoulder to form, look for that inverse cup, and look for us to break out of this yellow algorithm, which we did not do. But you can also see how we have this cup right here, and we form this handle within blue, and you see that inverse head and shoulder right there. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time here on the morning, but we'll go over the overall idea, and you can see, right, that we have this white algorithm right here, and this green stronger buying continuation, right? We just cannot continue, and we're forming this head and shoulder right there. So you see how that starts to head down. We form this inverse cup handle within that white and green. Once again, close this inverse cup. Now at the inverse cup, we cannot form the handle within that white and green. It takes some time, right? So if you're looking for it right here, still have not broken out of that yellow algorithm, which we do later on, and I will show you. Now right here, if you were looking for the breakout, you can see how we're forming this inverse head and shoulder right here. We try to form this cup, and you see this yellow algorithm within this blue as well. Now we cannot form this breakout above this level right here. You can see how this has been a resistance, and we do not get that continuation right on the way up. So instead, at this point right here, you can see how we're forming this resistance. I explained that on the 30-minute chart. If you are looking to short this, you'll see how this looks, right? With this head and shoulder as well as this inverse cup right here that starts to form. But on the 30-minute chart, you see how we continue to form that head right here. And then we slowly start forming this head and shoulder as well as that inverse cup. And you see how we break out of this green algorithm with this larger inverse cup and handle as well as that smaller one right there. Now you can see how I also am explaining on the 30-minute chart, be paying attention to this right here with that green algorithm and that resistance. And if we can form right that head and shoulder that we did, pay attention to that. Now, if you were looking for this to head up, I explained, right, we want to see this purple algorithm right here, and we want to see us breaking out of that yellow and blue algorithm right here with an inverse head and shoulder, and then maybe we could look for that continuation. Now as we continue to head down right here, unable to form what we need to break out, right? Same thing right here. If you're looking for this breakout, unable to close that cup, we don't see a handle, nothing like that. Now we were also approaching this 5-day moving average as well, which was right here, and we do form this beautiful head and shoulder off of it right there. You can see that inverse cup and handle as well within that white algorithm, and we finally break out of this yellow that I was explaining. we would talk about. Now with this move right here, as you can see on the way down, we're forming this inverse cup and handle, continue to form these head and shoulders. But on the 30-minute chart, I explained to be watching for this inverse cup that looked to be forming right here with this 5-day moving average, and you have to be paying attention to this larger one that can form right here, as we do have this liquidity, and you see how that eventually starts to form. So with the selling continuation right here off of that 5-day moving average, you can see within this orange, and then here at this cup where we close, right, that I explained, we see this quick bounce for the handle right here, but we continue forming that head and shoulder on the way down, and once again reach another level where we find support. Don't quite reach this 20-day moving average just yet, which was just below right here. You can see at the end of the day we tried to form this head and shoulder as well as this inverse cup and handle, but we just never saw the rest of that move. So now going over what to be watching into tomorrow. As I'm talking with this inverse cup right here now, be watching for this handle within this green, as well as breaking out of this white right here. And if we can get below that 20-day moving average, look for that continuation, and you can see how we could start grabbing this liquidity on the way down and maybe even closing this inverse cup at this level right here, in the case that we are below that 20-day moving average. Now, if there is a bounce here off of this 20-day moving average, be paying attention to that, because this can be a spot where this can happen, and we do have this liquidity back above now that we were building throughout the day here, right? You can see all of this and how this can be a shoulder in the case that we regain that 5-day moving average and continue heading up, holding above this 20. So here on the daily chart, right, as I talked about in yesterday's video, which I put as the thumbnail to be watching for the similarities in this right here, right? We're above this moving average, but you cannot be too sure right there. You see how we're rounding this top right here, as well as this 5-day moving average is basing, same thing, and we get that move down. So, right, a nice fake out just above this 20-day moving average, right? Same thing right here. You want to see that 20-day moving average retest. We retest it right there, form resistance, and get more downside. So here, if we lose that 20-day, be looking for this to continue. Otherwise, we could absolutely start to bounce right here off of that, but you would have to see something like that forming. So last thing before wrapping up the video, as I'm talking about with this top right here, if we are starting to form this inverse cup and handle, you can see how that is forming right here, another inverse cup. So be paying attention to that green breaking out of this white as well. And if we start to see this on the way down, losing this 20-day moving average, as we've already lost the 5, look for us to start grabbing this liquidity, forming this, and maybe we even start heading down more. Otherwise, we have to hold this 20-day moving average right here, regain the 5-day, and we can form something like this, right? Closing this cup at that 574 with our blue and yellow forming this handle, and from there within that purple continuation for a new all-time high. But that is going to wrap up the video, so thank you everyone for watching, and I will see members in the morning.